I've lost count by now. 50? Who knows? I've tried this way too many times, so we're just gonna come out and say it. Hi, my name is Claire, and this is my introduction video for the Booktube community. And I'm here because I like books. I hope you do too. So a few days ago, I tried to do the Booktube newbie tag, which is basically 10 questions that you can use to introduce yourself into the Booktube community. And I tried to film myself doing this, and it just was a disaster. It was awkward, and I didn't like it. So we deleted that video, and no one ever needs to see that again. But anyway, so this is my own version of the Booktube newbie tag, and just some facts as me as a reader and kind of what books I like and so on and so forth. So to begin, hi, my name is Claire, like I said, and I really like books. Now, what book specifically? Well, I love fantasy. I also enjoy sci-fi, but if there is romance intermingled within those, I love it even more. I've been getting into like contemporary romances, which have been nice. But I'm still, if there's a little bit of magic sprinkled into those books, I am totally there for it. Least favorite trope, miscommunication. I despise that. But anyway, so those are the kind of books that I like. Now, I do more than just read books. I know you think, well, you're going to be a part of Booktube, you just need to read books. No, I'm more than a reader. I am also a writer. I did write one book a few years ago. It's actually right here. It's this little guy right here. It's about 300 some pages. Look at that. And I tried querying it to do traditional publishing, and I failed epically. Well, I wouldn't say epically, but it was a failure. But that did not stop me. So it was my very first book I ever wrote. So I knew it wasn't going to be perfect, and I don't regret writing this. And I don't regret starting the process of trying to get it published traditionally. It's definitely, now that I look back on it, I need to go back and fix a lot of things, but we'll talk about that later in a different video. But in the meantime, I have started on a second book, and I am absolutely in love with this book that I'm currently working on. And so hopefully one day I will be able to share that with the Booktube community once it's done. Just a quick little update. It is, or just so you know about it, it is a story about a witch and a witch hunter. And it's just over 100,000 words right now, but we're nearing the end of draft 1, so then we'll start editing afterwards. But so that's cool. So that's something I will be adding to the Booktube community someday, is my own books. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So one of the questions on the Booktube newbie tag is, when did I start reading? So I started reading like chapter books by myself in about 3rd grade. And the book that made me fall in love with the fantasy genre was the Magic Treehouse books. I think those are fantastic books for young readers. And now that I look back on it, knowing more knowledge about book genres and everything, that was totally like portal magic books, which I think is so cool looking back. But I had a wonderful teacher in 3rd grade, and she really brought me to the genre of fantasy and magical realism, and it was fantastic. Now, I read pretty well through elementary school and then into middle school, but when I reached high school, I kind of took a bit of a break, and I did high school. And it wasn't after a few years after high school, and I was in college, I was taking some college classes, and I really needed a break, and I needed that escapism that can happen with books. And that is when I went to my local public library and I picked up this book. This is Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman, and this book, I absolutely fell in love with this book. It was my very first book I ever read by Neil Gaiman, and I actually haven't read any from him since, so I need to. So if you have any suggestions, please leave them in the comments. But this book is what got me out of a major reading slump and kind of brought me back into reading. But it wasn't until I moved homes and when a few years ago, and I moved and I was like, man, what am I going to do? So I started a TikTok page, and that TikTok was amazing. I still have it. I still post on it. And I became a part of the book talk community, and that's where the username The Vibrant Blueberry was born. And it was super fun, and I love the community over there on Book Talk. Now, I do have an Instagram, I have a TikTok, and now I thought it was mid-February of 2024, so this year. I was like, why don't we try YouTube? And so that's what brought me over here, and so far, it's going fantastic, at least in my eyes. So I hope you follow along on this journey with me as I write my own books, I read, and hopefully we can all share our love of books together and see what amazing books that we can read this year and in the coming years. So thank you so much if you're here at the end of this video. I appreciate you, and I hope you come back again. Make sure to subscribe if you're interested. And I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.